You ever have one of those moments, you make a tiny mistake, say something clumsy, or just have a bad hair day, and you feel like every single eye in the world is suddenly pointed right at you? Well, today we're going to talk about why that feeling is almost entirely an illusion. So let me ask you, you've said something a little awkward, right? We all have. That feeling hits you. And then, did you find yourself just replaying that exact moment in your head over and over and over again for hours, maybe even days? Yeah, and you were probably convinced that every single person in the room not only noticed, but is now like secretly judging you for it. Just cringing at the memory. Well, I've got some surprising and honestly liberating news for you. They almost certainly didn't notice. And even if they did, they probably didn't care. Not because you're not important, but because of this fascinating little quirk our brains all have. So to really get this, let's start with a classic scenario. It is painfully relatable. We'll call it the story of the stained shirt. Okay, picture this. You walk into a room, maybe a party or a big meeting, and you're feeling pretty good. Then you happen to glance down and you see it. A coffee stain, a little drop of sauce, right on the front of your shirt, and your heart just plummets. Immediately, your brain just kicks into overdrive. This little voice inside starts screaming, "Oh no, everyone can see this. They're probably whispering about me right now. I look like a complete mess." And you might start trying to cover it with your hand. Your confidence is just gone. But here's what's actually going on in that room. The person you're talking to, they're totally worried about their own presentation later. Someone else is busy replaying an awkward thing they said yesterday. See, everyone is the main character in their own movie, way too busy with their own plot to even notice the tiny details of yours. Now this feeling, it isn't just you being dramatic. Well, it is all in your head, but it's a real, well-documented psychological thing. So let's look at the actual science behind this spotlight illusion. It's officially called the spotlight effect, and it's basically our brain's default setting to massively overestimate how much attention other people are paying to us, to our clothes, our words, and especially our little mess-ups. And check this out. There was this famous experiment by a psychologist named Thomas Gilovich. He had students wear a kind of embarrassing t-shirt, I think it was Barry Manilow, into a room full of people. The students wearing the shirt guessed that at least half the room noticed it. But the reality? Fewer than a quarter of the people even registered it. That huge gap you see on the chart, that is the spotlight effect in action. And this just perfectly sums up the whole idea. You feel like you're walking around with this giant Hollywood-style spotlight following your every move, highlighting every single flaw. But the truth is, every person you meet is standing under their own personal spotlight, way too concerned with their own performance to notice yours. Okay, so let's bring this into our world today. How does this spotlight illusion pop up in our daily lives, beyond just embarrassing t-shirts? Let's talk social media. Your fear is that that post you made with only a few likes is being actively judged. You think people are thinking, wow, that's unpopular. The reality? Most people saw it for maybe a half second and just kept on scrolling, their thumb already moving to the next thing. Or how about public speaking? You stumble over a single word, and in your mind, the whole presentation is a complete disaster. You've ruined everything. But for the audience, it was just a tiny blip. They probably forgot it happened before you even finished your next sentence. Seriously. And this applies to bigger stuff too. You try something and it just doesn't work out. Your internal fear immediately slaps you with the label failure. But the world, it doesn't even pause. It moves on instantly because your mistakes are deafening inside your own head, but they're almost completely silent to everyone else. Now, understanding this isn't about making you feel insignificant. It's the complete opposite. It's about finding freedom. Once you really truly get the spotlight effect, you can start to fundamentally shift your whole mindset. Suddenly, the power dynamic changes. That fear of judgment just loses its grip on you. You can stop filtering all of your actions through that one question, what will they think? And you can start asking a much more important question. What do I want? And this leads to this beautiful, kind of counterintuitive idea. Realizing that you're not the center of everyone else's universe isn't a blow to your ego. It's the ultimate form of freedom. It means you have permission to try things, to experiment, and yeah, even to fail without worrying about an imaginary audience. So, how do we make this practical? How do we turn this idea into an actual tool you can use to build some real confidence? Here it is. It's super simple. The next time that wave of embarrassment or self-consciousness hits you, just pause for a second and ask yourself this one question. In 24 hours, will a single other person on this planet even remember this happened? I promise you, 99.9% of the time, the answer is a hard no.
And if it doesn't even deserve a place in their memory, it definitely doesn't deserve to suck up all your energy today. This is your permission slip to just live more, to speak your mind, to try new things, to fail, because failing is just part of it, and ultimately to grow.
So let's bring it all home. That intense, harsh, judgmental spotlight that you feel is shining down on you, exposing every little imperfection, it isn't real. It's a projection. It's a trick your mind is playing on you. It exists only in your imagination. The people who really live their lives, the ones who create and innovate and take chances, they aren't fearless. They just understand this one simple, profound truth. Nobody is watching as closely as you think. And that, right there, is your permission to be free.